Let's try that again. Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I'm so happy to be back here with you in 2025. Would it even be a start of a year if I didn't start talking to you while I was on mute? I don't think so. So I saw lots of people in the comments super early, and thank you guys so much for being here. I saw Gail and Lisa and Wendy and Judy in here, super, super crazy early hanging out. I love that. Missy was here too. Virginia popped in pretty early. Kathleen jumped in, but then she said she'll watch the replays. We'll see you later. Let's see. Miss Jody's here. Melissa's here hanging out. I'm on the big screen at her house. Peggy's checking in. Maria, Connie. Miss Jennifer's here. Let's see. Miss Barbara's coming to hang out. Susan's here. Cami. So many people tonight. Margaret. Jackie Ann's here. And Miss Leslie. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. I am excited to make a fun and beautiful card to start off our 2025. I grabbed a tried and true stamp set, this guy. This is the Sketched Florals, and I haven't used this bottom stamp set either at all or in a while. I don't think I've used it at all, this one, and it's so beautiful, and I've wanted to color it for forever. I was going to try to do the stamp of the month stamp tonight, but it hasn't gotten here yet. So I thought we'd throw it back, and I will also tell you all of the sentiments in here are like I'm sorry or condolence. And I love the florals, but I did not want to start the year off with a condolence card. So I also grabbed the floral banner sentiments. We won't be using the banner itself, but these have like a hello, sweet friend, happy anniversary, thank you, other options for our florals besides a sad card. If you needed to make a condolence card, if we swapped out some of the cardstock and changed up the color scheme, this would be a very beautiful condolence card as well. So I thought it was good, a good one for inspiration. But yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot to work on, and we're gonna do some heat embossing after we color, which I don't do often, but I think it'll help it to pop. Let's see. I saw Miss Sherry Yates is here. Jana's here. Karen is here. Beth is here to hang out with us. Miss Annette's checking in. Libby's here. Hey, Libby. Lori's here. All right, let me go ahead and switch us over. Okay. I think I want to start with my floral because everything else we're going to be doing, I think, is going to be really graphic, like black and white. And our floral is going to be our pop of color. So we're going to start with that. And the whites won't be exactly the same, but I will that's not true. We're going to be, this stamp set doesn't have coordinating dies. So we are going to be coloring and then like coloring our image on our whole panel. And that's going to become like our panel because I'm not fussy cutting this whole thing out either. So let's start with it being a full A2 card front and we can trim down as needed. Let's do that. Well, looks like Mom's here. And Barb said it's the first time she's catching a live. Welcome. I'm so glad you caught us live, Barb. Yeah, Melissa, I feel like seasonally wise, like January is tough for a lot of people. Um, even if you don't have like personal, like a personal loss or something like that, maybe that comes up this time of year. I think just with the weather and, the lack of sunlight, the holidays being over, it can just be not the happiest time. So we're just going to fill our January with beautiful flowers. Okay. I want to give myself some room here. So I'm going to take my little Ranger ruler. Sorry, words are hard. And we're going to stamp this. Actually, we're going to stamp this. I think we're going landscape for our card. And it's going to just hang over the edge. Actually, let's stamp it so it's nothing's hanging off the bottom, or this, I guess, the side in this case. We're going to lose those little outer florals. That's fine with me. And the cool thing about this stamp set is if you put it diagonal, it takes up the whole card. And when we are done stamping this, we're going to leave it in on our Misty door so that we can add that embossing powder when we're done. I think it's just going to really help, like I said, to make it really bold and really pop. I haven't fully committed to what color family we're going to work with. I'm thinking either purple or yellow. I'm not saying we have to have a vote, but if anyone's feeling purple versus yellow, you can let me know. There we go. Susan said, I fussy cut the word happy 30 times this afternoon, thinking about Caitlin the whole time. That sounds like my personal hell. If somebody wanted to punish me for a crime, that would be, I guess we're not embossing this. It's just like automatic. We can probably line it up when we're done. We'll see. Ideally, if you're going to emboss, you don't want to take it off of your Misty door. But I'll show you what I do when I forget and I take it off my Misty door. Because you won't be surprised to learn that that's not the first time that I have done that. So we'll make it work. Barb, I try my hardest to not fussy cut as well. Okay, I see so many purples. Purple, purple, purple. All right, purple it is. Thank you all. All right, get you zoomed in. So you can see super pretty, so much detail. And the thing I love is that the artist has drawn us a lot of guiding lines here. So I really want like bright and fun. So let's go with these. Let's keep it really, really fun. Let's bring this down even further so you guys can see. There we go. So I'm going to start with my darkest shade. You don't have to. You can go lightest to darkest and back down. But I'm going to go with my darkest shade, and I'm going to start laying in my shadows at the center of the flowers and using those artist drawn lines as a guide on where else I can add that color. This is how I like to start. Okay, and then we're also going to add a shadow anywhere where one petal is overlapping another. So this petal is on top of this one. That's going to get a shadow. And then we'll flick some color from the center. This petal is cupped over, so under here would have a shadow. And I like to add a little like dot of shading to that curled over piece as well, because it would have a little like ripple in it. If you can hear weird crumbling in the background, my dog decided that right now is the best time for her to eat in the next room. And she's a very loud eater. This one has, I can't tell if that's curled. That's the cool thing. I really like this style because it is really sketchy. It leaves a lot up for your interpretation. Like nothing's going to look wrong when you color this. All right, so there's our base layer of color. That was V09. Then we're going to jump to V17. I don't know if I had that cap in view the whole time. So I'm going to connect any of those, like this one where the artist drawn line comes from the top and the bottom. We're going to go ahead and connect those. And everything else will kind of just stretch from wherever it is. But I want to be sure to leave a good amount of white space so that we have room for our highlight color. I'm just rotating my paper as I go. Always manipulate your paper, never try to bend around your wrist. Oh yeah, it does match. My nail's pretty good. Okay, and then my highlight is going to be this V15, which is going to bring in just this like little pop of almost pinky purple. And I love these three purple markers together. I still wish that Olo and Copic will both come out with more purples. They do kind of fill gaps in each other's blends, but this is one of my go-to Copic trios. And with this, I'm just pretty much filling everything in. Right, so that's going to give a really bright and vibrant and fun. And it's not a lot, but I did see someone say yellow middles. So I will take some Y35 and just pop that in the center of these. I can't promise how much is going to show, but I can add some yellow. All right, and now we just do that over and over again. Just over and over. These little guys are smaller, so they need less color, which is something to be mindful of too. The bigger your flower, the more pressure you're going to want to put on that marker tip so that your lines are thicker. If you're working with teeny tiny little delicate flowers, you're going to want to be much more mindful to have a light hand. But these are the kinds of coloring projects where I feel like I can just zone out. And I'll just like put on a podcast or an audiobook and just calm my mind and color. I hope everybody had a good New Year's. Everybody stayed nice and safe. We did our vision boards at work today, which is it's always very fun. It usually gets a little emotional too, but we all make our vision boards for the following year and then share them and help cheer each other on through the year, which is so great. I highly encourage you to do that, even if it's virtually with a crafty friend. Having that visual reminder of your goals and your plans, and also having someone to help check in and hold you accountable is super important. And I feel like last year was very numbers driven for me. I was trying to be monetized. I was trying to hit certain metrics at work for social media. Um, and this year, I'm kind of trying to reel that in. It's always good to have numbers just to gauge, but I am really trying to focus on quality and having fun in my content, both personally and professionally, versus trying to hit numbers. So hopefully that'll translate over here as well. Hey, Brendan. So yeah, super fun purple. We do have a couple smaller flowers over here, and I mean, it's not really experience. In my opinion, these smaller flowers would be lighter versus darker. So I'm gonna drop my V09 and my middle shade, which was that V17, is going to become my darkest. My words aren't wording today. Only those three, right? Yeah, everything else is green. And my RV15 will now become my middle shade. And there's not a ton of real estate here, so I'm just trying to leave a little bit of a highlight there, and we'll bring in some V12 to be our new highlight. I think it would be cute to bring in some of that yellow, that same yellow we used for the centers, for these little berries. I'm not sure all of these are meant to be the same kind, but I don't really care either. Okay. And now for our green, let's see, here's a scrap. Let's find, I like that. G24, let me grab my X chart. And let's start with G24 as a starting point. G24, maybe to 46. And then G21. Like I don't have a G20. I have a G20. I wonder if it died or if I filled in that color with the wrong, that box with the wrong color. I don't know. Let's try that. Oh yes, thank you so much, Libby. I do have the products linked. If you're on YouTube, the products are linked. If you're on Facebook, the products are listed by name. And should you need help finding them, you can pop over into the YouTube whenever to get the direct link, or you can just search it by name. But Facebook changed their rules, so I can't add links for every product in Facebook anymore. I'm going to do all of these leaves the same color, and I'm just going to, we're not going to go all the way around. So I'm just going to do like this batch first. That was our 46. And we can come in with our 24. It's not a huge difference, but that's okay. I really want the flowers to be the star of the show. And so not having the leaves be the most bold contrast will help your eye stay on those really interesting florals. Oh my goodness. Are you enjoying your last days of break, Brendan? It was so weird being back at work today. It felt like a Monday, which I guess is good because then I really will feel like 2 tiny short weeks. And now they're saying we're supposed to be getting snow here on Monday. And if you ever feel like your darkest shade gets too washed out, you can always go back in and add a second little layer here and there once you're done your blend. And again, this is a different shaped leaf, right? So it could be a different color scheme. You could use different greens if you wanted to. I want to keep the green simple, so I'm not going to worry about that. And it looks like a leaf. I'm just adding my shading wherever the veining and stems on those leaves is already drawn. That's school, never heard of it. You're so funny. I don't know how you get anything done with how much school stuff you have. Okay. What else there? And for how large this stamp is, that really didn't take us a very long time. Sometimes it feels like, you guys ever like me to do the dishes, like fold clothes, and you convince yourself that you can't do it now because it would take so much time and you have something else you need to do later and you won't be done. But in reality, if you just did it, it would be like 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes I find myself getting into that same kind of mindset for a larger stamp like this. It's like a single stamp, but really that wasn't a lot of time. So yeah, that's our very pretty little floral. That's what we're working with. And if you had the patience of a saint, you could fussy cut that. I don't, so I'm not going to. But I am going to tell you what my vision is. So my vision is to have a teeny tiny little black mat on top of another white base to just kind of break some of that up. And then our sentiment, and then maybe some embellishments. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, and we're still going to try to emboss this. So let's do that. Let's see if I can manage that. And this is going really quick. So we might even make a second one. Because I had said there would, if you needed it, you could make this into a condolence or even like a get well. And we could do that if we have time. Or I can answer other questions, whatever you want. So I am going to try my best. And the reason I'm willing to do this with this image is because I plan on going over this with clear embossing powder, not a colored embossing powder. So if it's a hair off, it's not going to matter because it's clear. And I'd already cleaned off my stamp, which is another important part. But that looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. So we need our clear embossing powder. Oh, Kendra's not feeling good. That's no good. Best timed how long it takes me to make the bed. 1.5 minutes. No excuses. Exactly. Right. I'll be like, man, I can't do the dishes. It's gonna take forever. And it's really like 10 minutes. Barb, I didn't go to school for art, but I do have a background in makeup artistry and costuming. And a lot of that knowledge has kind of spilled over and been, no, really didn't, and been very useful in my card making space. What? What? You have to go outside? Okay. Hold on. She's crying like she's gonna freak out. Okay. So coloring wise, I am self-taught slash I've watched years and years worth of YouTube. So nothing formal. I have no formal training. I have a psychology degree. So, oh, that's so fun, Libby. Yeah, I sometimes I really miss makeup. It was such a huge part of my life when I was pregnant and when my kids were little. And now I feel like I just don't do it at all, which is very strange. But it's like it feels like a phase, not in like, oh my God, it's just a phase, but like it just felt like a chapter of my life, and it's not like it's closed or gone. I just feel like I'm in a different spot now. Um, COVID really took a lot of that spark out of it for me. having to be up in people's faces. But I loved doing bridal makeup. I loved getting to be such a key part of someone's day and helping them feel beautiful. I got to work at backstage at New York Fashion Week, which was one of my big makeup goals. So very cool. And I still do special effects makeup stuff with my dad for Halloween. All right, so we're just tapping that off. Okay, I prepped the area where my um, stamped image is, but I didn't prep the top part of my paper. And there's a little excess powder up there. And because we're going to stamp our sentiment there, I think, I just want to make sure that that gets tapped off. We'll funnel that right back into our jar. Yeah, Brennan, we'll see. I mean, I still enjoy, like, I love teaching my girls makeup. They're very interested. They want to learn all the things. They want to try all the fun makeup. Um, so, my feet. Let me grab that. And I did teach makeup where I worked, both internally and to customers. So I think a lot of that training helped me prep for being here with you guys, Miss Gail, complimenting me on being a good teacher. I think that has a big part to do with it. So I'm going to go quiet for a second while I melt this down. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Perfect. I love that. It looks so cool with that high shine, and it just makes the black of that stamp look so rich and pigmented. Like I said, I don't do that a lot, but I think it's such a cool effect. And again, because we're going really like black and white with the rest of the card, I just thought it would really kind of punch that up a little bit. Oh, I didn't mean to click that, but Judy said, oh, the top was a little lopsided on making cakes. Um, yeah, that's such a fun look and so easy, especially if you leave your stamp in place. But even if you don't and you're doing clear, like I said, there might be like a little spot here and there where it's just a hair off, but it really doesn't matter because it's clear. Like that. All right, let's figure out what we're going to do with this sentiment. Hello, sweet friend could be good. And that's just like a really good, truly anytime card. I mean, we could also like really trim this down and actually use the floral banner like down here. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Let me flip through these dies. So that's the floral banner die. It's a big banner. We could probably trim it down, to be fair, right? Um, yeah, we could trim it a little if we needed to. And then do like the little back banner pieces. Oh, duh, because it upside down. The back kind of gets tucked that way, and then this one gets tucked. That's why it's great that there's always these guides on the back. Oh, sorry, it's not even on the screen. So it would kind of look like that, right? Like a little banner. We could do that in black and white. Maybe go real bold and do a black banner with white. Still torn on the placement, but maybe a black banner with a white embossing powder. Am I crazy for outlining penguins in pink instead of gray? If you think they're cute, then you're not crazy. That's my ruling. If you look at it and you go, "Aw," then it's perfect. Then they are perfect. That's the goal with penguins. You just have to look at them and go, "Aw." I don't have any black scraps. I find that very hard to believe. All right, Melissa's on board with me. Black banner, white embossing. We'll leave it all full size for now until I can see it all laid out, and then we can decide if we're going landscape or horizontal. I've been doing a great job at keeping my die cutting machine up off the floor. Let my dog so she doesn't freeze to death. Come on. You have to give her the treat. She wanted it some. Go right in. Okay. Banner. That's what I was doing. Banner. Gail thinks Caitlin should have a retreat. Well, I'm sure I can figure something out at some point. Oh, I'm going to Florida now? Okay. I'm down with that. Yeah, this year is definitely going to be really fun as far as some more in-person event type things. And yeah, I definitely want to work on some more class style content, but I'm not exactly sure yet what that's going to look like. But I promise when I do know that I We'll make sure you guys know. But we have to take that up with Libby. Libby's the one who's going to be able to move and shake on that one more than Caitlin for now. Libby's in charge. Yeah, I saw she hinted at virtual, but if I'm going to Florida or we're going to Florida, we're gonna need some backup on that one. All right, we are going to stamp this in the Misty 2. Just because when I emboss, I like being able to stamp twice if I need to. All right, let's get this kind of centered on that curve. Really need a second magnet. Oh, that's a lot of time. We don't want to pick up all of that. Hello, sweet friend. Very cute. And I'm not pushing down very hard. Just kind of letting that ink have a chance to transfer. Oh, and because we're doing this, we get to use my favorite tool that I never use. I have this little Simon Says stamp. I think that's who they're from. The silly hands, the little silicone hands so you don't burn yourself. Those are my favorite. They're so silly. All right. And I guess it would help if we put embossing powder on it, huh? I'm ready to heat it up and there's no powder on it. Silly, silly. Frosting and embossing powder. We could have done purple too, but still feel like everything else being black and white is gonna really pop. I'm definitely gonna have to go back and read through these comments. Okay, let's pull this up. There we go. And the little silly hands, if you haven't seen those before, just to make sure you don't burn yourself with your heat gun. All right, so let's let that cool down for a second. And we can see what we're feeling. If we like this with landscape, or I kind of really like this now. Right, like trim off a little there. I think I really like it portrait. And we'll pop it up and add our little tails afterward. All right, so I gave that a second to cool down because you don't want to wipe over it when your embossing powder is still warm. Trust me, I say that from experience, it'll smear. But this is definitely going to need to be trimmed down just a little. So we're going to do some die cut surgery. And even if that means the tails don't look perfect on it, I am fine with that. Okay, let's trim this guy down. I think I want this kind of bigger leaf to kind of be the top. See how much. Is that not straight? What did I just do? Hello? It's like an optical illusion. Maybe. Okay. Well, now we're down to 4 1/4 this way. So that's 3/4 of an inch. So we need to be 3 1/2 this way. Let's take off just a little sliver on this side first. And then 3 1/2. Are you not straight? That's got to be what it is, right? Yeah, that's super. That's super off. Okay, good. Not me, just over here second guessing my actual sanity. All right, and I'm gonna do this by eye instead of by measurement because the teeny tiny little lines drive me absolutely bonkers. So I'm going to line this up. I want a very, very thin little line on the top and the left. And then we're going to trim it on this side. So the little wire on my trimmer, just giving that a nice little gap. And then I can just trim. Sometimes my wire trimmer doesn't quite get it when the edges are that thin. So we can just this is just like a little bit more. I have a guillotine trimmer too. It's just a love-hate relationship because I need to get her sharpened or something. There we go. That is a very tidy little frame. All right, and let's see. That's really cute. It's going to go just over the edges, which is fine because, oh, is that white? Looks pretty good. I'm really fine if it's not that perfect match white this time. Let's trim You know what? Let's just do straight to a card base. That would be even smarter. Oh, let's see. Libby's teaching Pink and Ming classes at Crop on the Cape in March, and then doing some foiling demos at the Nashville Craft Retreat. That's so exciting. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my plans for this year. Should probably have more things planned already. I do know, well, I'm 99.999% sure I'll be back at the Chicago Planner Conference in November. But I also have hopefully a couple crafty card making things lined up. Oh, I just love this so much. This is not my normal style card, in case for anyone who this is your first live. But I just thought it would be a really fun thing to make for our first live of the year. Just have fun. Libby said, to be clear, I signed up for those two myself. I'm doing Pink and Mean because why not? I love it. Oh, I love it. And it's always so good when you can just tell that people truly love the company they work with because they will do stuff like that. That's so cute. We have to pop them up though. Where's my phone? Hello. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Want a little space there. I'm just, because I trimmed these myself, see if I can show you. Focus, please. Okay. It doesn't have the exact like proper angle to line it up. So I'm just lining up the bottom two corners, right? And if you line them straight, you barely see that little tail. So I'm making sure the bottoms are lined up and then just kind of angling that so that you can see that little tail underneath. And when we add the dimension, it'll help separate them. And to do that, I'm seriously just pinching it in place. So that's going to give us that raised, come on, you can do it, a little raised edge. That's going to be really cute. A little banner. Repeat that on the other side. Where'd my foam go? It's on the scissors. And then for this side, because it's on the top, we're going to line up the top edge instead of the bottom. And that way you can make that banner whatever size you need it to be. But you still have that really fun little wrapped die. And that's going to go right over those edges. If you hate that, we could still, you could swap it around. But I am really liking it. I want to cut this into thirds because that's really appealing to the eye. So we could either do the top, but because it's black and I feel like it's a little heavy, I like the idea of it more towards the bottom. If you put it all the way at the bottom, that's fine, but this is so much white space that it feels a little off balance. So I really like how it's looking on that lower third. And so I'm going to add my tape runner to the little tabby guys. Get that lined up. that. And it definitely needs some embellishment, right? It needs something. I've been really loving these tiny pearls. Um, but we could also do the embossed, what are they? Not embossed, enamel dots for color sake. What's this green? Like that green's too seafoamy. That green's not bad. We could do a couple little green pearls. That could be very cute. I'm not sure there's enough yellow to justify the yellow. The yellow feels like a lot. But I kind of really like this like soft kind of sea foamy green. I think that works really well. Let's flip through these enamel dots just in case. That purple's pretty good. That's too blue. Oh, that's really good. What do you guys think? Should we do a matching purple or should we do green? Oh, I have those green little flat back rhinestones too. Those are good. I think I like those better than the pearls. All right. So I think it's between glitter purple enamel dot or rhinestones. Right. Glitter purple enamel dot or the light green rhinestones. All right. I've got 1 vote for purple and 2 votes for rhinestones. I think I'm leaning rhinestones too, just because it is like a softer, not soft, but it's very contrasty, but it is a more refined. Is that the word? It's a word. So I think having the green. Yeah, okay, good. Most people are saying the green. If you're saying the purple and I didn't pick purple, I'm sorry. It's too big. Here we go. It's a little smattering of 5. So we get that little hint of a sparkle in there. But yeah, I think that's so fun. And it sometimes just makes me happy to try something a little different, try a style that I'm not always drawn to. I'm drawn to this style when I see other people do it, but it's not always my first instinct. So it's fun to play around and see, you know, what you end up with. Doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, but it's fun. I just went over a couple little gaps in my white embossing with my white gel pen. And yeah, that is our very sweet card that could be a thank you, a thinking of you, um, a get well, right? You could use that for so many things. A good all-purpose card to have in there. You could totally swap that sentiment out and also have a condolence card should you need it. And that Sketched Floral stamp set has many beautiful condolence and get well and I'm sorry kind of themed sentiments in it. So I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm definitely going to go back in and read these comments because I feel like I missed so much, so much, but I love to see everybody chatting and having fun. Um, Perfect. Libby, as Libby just put in the YouTube comments, I am on schedule to be back on our Tuesday, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. lives. And then Donna is going to be every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you got us here. And everything's always in Eastern for us because we're East Coast girlies. So yeah, back to Tuesday, Thursdays, our normal routine now that we are over with the holidays. And hopefully I will be able to show you the stamp of the month in action soon. There's a new design team announced that has been announced on the Pink and Main blog and Instagram today. So please go check that out. Make sure you're following all of the new Pink and Main girlies. A couple of us, stuck around too. Michelle and Libby are letting me stay here to hang out with you for another round, which I'm so grateful for. But make sure you go show those new Pink and Main girls some love too. So yeah, we'll see you back here on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And until next time, guys, happy crafting. Have a good night.